You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Friday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
All right, we had the Trews come in the studio today, so that's pretty much most of this podcast. Hopefully you like the Trews. If not, this might be a long podcast for you.
What we'll do, if you don't like the Trews, here's some of the other stuff from the show, and then once that's over, you'll get the full, unedited, live interview and performances from when the Trews came in for like half an hour earlier today.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I think we've well established on this show that people are just disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
But I saw a video the other day that really sent something home for me in terms of thinking about it. It was some stupid hack video about like how to get lint out of the speakers of your phone using like packing tape, which is a terrible idea. Like, don't do that. It'll just make your phone all sticky and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it made me think, it was like, how many people actually clean out the lint on like the speakers or the charge ports on their phone, earphone jack, if you still have a phone that has one of those?
The only time I've ever done it was none of my chargers in my house would work.
Right.
And then I Googled it and someone was like, yeah, you just got lint. And I took a toothpick in there. Dude, it was crazy what came out of my phone.
It's because we just stuff these things, even in cases, because a lot of cases have just open ports and open speakers, and we just stuff it into our pockets or throw it in the car or wherever you put your phone, and it all just builds up. Now, on top of that, where you take your phone in the bathroom with you?
All the time.
When's the last time you washed the screen of your phone?
Never.
And I say this not judging you because I've never done it either. I think the last time I washed my phone was because a kid spilled like a drink on it, and that was it.
Yeah.
Other than that, a lot of us are just walking around with these filthy screens.
I legit don't think I've ever wiped down my phone. When I wipe down my phone, it's like, oh, there's a smudge, so I take my shirt, and that's about it.
Like, even during the pandemic, to bring up foreign times, when we were cleaning everything, we were singing happy birthday and washing our hands and sanitizing this, that, and the next thing. I still don't think I did anything to clean my phone at any point in time.
It's weird. I've never thought about it till now because it's like I'll sit and eat and I'm like holding my phone at the same time. Yeah.
You'll make a point to go to the bathroom and wash your hands.
I'll take a leak. I'll have my thing in one hand and my phone in the other hand. And then I go back to two hand in the phone.
Hey, you know what? No judgment, brother. I did the same thing this morning. And
I'll literally have one hand up my ass and another on my phone.
And then you come right back to the old two-handed text. You want to do something today? If you're listening to this show and you haven't done this in a while, take the case off your phone. And you will be stunned at how disgusting it is back there.
Oh, yeah, dude. If you're short on weed, there's a little bit in there.
That's not the point I was trying to make, but it is a fair one.
Desperate times, brother.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast. Is it real? Is it fake? Do we even care? Let's find out.
It's been a wild week in the state of Florida. There's so many Florida man stories that we haven't been able to get to this week, so I figured we would do a real or fake Florida man edition. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Okay, so you're going to read me a headline, and some of them will be real. Some of them are things you have made up.
Yeah, we got texts in here from people, so these are all listener ones, all right?
Very excited.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Florida man is wanted for stealing $1,700 worth of shopping carts.
$1,700 worth of shopping carts? That feels realistic.
That is real.
That's straight out the trailer park, boys.
It is. There are lots of trailer parks out in Florida.
No kidding.
Another one here is Florida man tries to fight woman in wheelchair at Epcot.
Not at Epcot. Jesus. Please tell me that one's fake. Oh.
No, that one's real. He said she cut him off.
She cut him in a wheelchair? Jeez, my guy, let her go.
Oh, it is real. Next one here is Florida man gets stuck in water slide while hiding from police after attempting to steal from the gift shop.
That one feels very real.
Unfortunately, that one's fake.
Oh, no.
Friend of the show, Marcus, texted that one in.
That's a good one, Marcus.
All right. Another one here is Florida woman who is an assistant principal made student rub her feet and called them sexy chocolate.
No. That's arrestable. Sadly, that's probably real. Oh.
Yes, that is.
Gross!
That is real.
Straight to jail.
That is real. Florida man attempts to blow up Pepsi truck after finding out he has diabetes.
Like, it'll keep the diabetes
Yeah.
away? Fake.
That one is fake.
That's great, though.
Shout out to Chelsea who texted that one in.
Very nice, Chelsea.
All right, we got a few more here. Florida man turns violent after being denied a free refill at a kid's lemonade stand.
Like on the sidewalk run by children?
Yeah.
God, that's probably real, isn't it?
That is real.
Oh, dude.
That is real. He got in their face. He threatened violence. The kid's dad had to come out, almost fought him.
Imagine having to fight somebody for threatening your kid's lemonade stand. Like, I didn't wake up expecting this morning.
All right, we'll wrap up with a couple more here.
Okay.
Florida man robs convenience store wielding an alligator as his weapon.
I saw that one. I know that one is real.
That one's actually fake.
What? I'm certain I saw a story about this.
That one was texted in by someone.
I feel like this is a thing.
Probably has happened before. I guarantee you it's happened before. Final one here. Florida man threw bottles of pee on worker from a business that denied him an interview.
Like a job interview?
Yeah.
You're not getting that job now. Real? Gross.
I don't know why they deny him. If they ask for a drug test, he's already given it to him.
I think you have to have it in the container. I don't think you can just have it free range.
Kind of just shows that he's progressive.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I saw this video the other day, because it's WrestleMania season. WrestleMania's next weekend. So all these smaller companies are doing shows to try and get noticed while the sort of media attention is on them. A guy's gone viral for using one of those workout elastic band type things, the stretchy resistance bands, wrapped it around an opponent, and then jumped out into the crowd.
Oh, and snapped it back at him?
Snapped it back into his chest.
Oh.
And it got me thinking, what do you think is the most dangerous foreign object in your home?
I mean, a knife, but...
Well, okay, something that you could use in a wrestling match,
yeah.
not in a murder.
Honestly, if you like had pots and pans with you.
Dude,
Like,
that
if you
would
had
be
like a
sick.
cheesy gimmick, you were like the chef.
Yeah. Be like that guy who went famous a few years ago for he was doing like flipping pizza dough and stuff like
He
that.
had like
when
a
he was
cast
wrestling.
iron pan or something, and every time you hit someone, you gain more flavor to it. Like, that could be your gimmick. Like, you cook after, right?
I was just thinking if you could like set up end tables and living room tables and coffee tables.
Stubbing people's toes.
Just throwing people around the old Irish whip and they stub their toes.
Yeah.
Devastating maneuvers.
That'd be good. That'd be a good one for sure.
Brother, is it just me, or have you ever wanted to hit somebody with a kitchen table chair?
Oh.
I've always thought about that as like how satisfying that would be.
I've never thought about smacking someone with a chair, but I mean, it would be nice.
Yeah. I'm not saying I want to hit anybody in my family.
Who did you have dinner with? Where did this come to your head?
Very clear. I want to say I'm not thinking about hitting anyone in my family. I'm just thinking as a foreign object. Steel chair is already such a prevalent part of pro wrestling. But I feel like having the wood like smash apart when you hit somebody, it would be like when the honky tonk man used to hit people with guitars and wood would go flying everywhere. Just a good kitchen table, or a good, well, not the table, the chair.
Yeah.
Smash it all on someone's back. I think that would be great.
I think you do like cleaning supplies, like the broom,
A
the
mop.
Swiffer or something.
Dude, smacking someone across the face with a wet mop would not only hurt, but it would feel really insulting. Like, I feel like you would really disrespect someone if you hit him with a wet mop.
Even being like the cleaner, like you take sponges or like those like bristle like kind of cleaning things.
yeah.
You start rubbing that into someone's
Get
face.
him right in the eyes.
Yeah.
You know what? Pat might have actually said the best thing that it could be.
What's
a
that?
household object to take somebody out. If you got kids, Lego.
Lego.
You just put the Lego on the ground and let nature take its course.
But we're poor, so we're the mega blocks.
Well, yeah.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast. $1,000 minutes.
All right, we've got Jaden on the line here this morning. Jaden, how you doing, brother?
Oh, pretty good. You?
Doing good, man. I ask everyone this. Would you consider yourself a smart man?
I guess so.
You know what? It's that level of confidence that has me convinced you're going to win today.
All right.
Hopefully.
10 questions, 60 seconds. You understand how it works, right, buddy?
Yep.
Jaden, listen. It's Friday. We have yet to give away any money on our show. I want to believe in you. Tell me you're going to win.
I'm going to win this.
Hell yeah, brother.
Super confident. All right, let's go. I'll count you in from 3 to 1. You ready?
All right.
All right, 3, 2, 1. What is 60 plus 9?
69.
What is the capital of Saskatchewan?
Saskatoon.
Who is the captain of the Ottawa Senators?
Oh, man, I'm not a hockey guy.
Oh, no.
Skip that one.
How many legs does a spider have?
8.
What is the name of the toy cowboy in Toy Story?
Woody.
What is the color of an emerald?
Green.
Whose nose grew longer every time that he told a lie?
Pinocchio.
How many planets are in our solar system?
Skip that one, too.
Where does Santa Claus live?
North Pole.
And finally, what is a group of lions called?
Pride?
You know what? We'll give it to you.
We'll give it to you. Because you know you're not winning.
The buzzer was in the middle of happening. So, Jaden, listen, you tried. And that's what's important here. And the thing to know is that you passed on 2 questions. Other than that, you only got 1 wrong.
What was the one that I got wrong?
The capital of Saskatchewan, while it sounds like it should be Saskatoon, is Regina.
It is the city that rhymes
Oh,
with
yeah. Right, yeah.
Captain of the Senators is Brady Tkachuk, and the solar system has 8 planets, R.I.P. Pluto.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, hey, you got 7 right today, all right? That's not nothing.
You don't get a shame bell, but all of these questions did come from a list of trivia questions that were easy for kids, so I don't know what that means to you,
Tell him
Jaden.
that part.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's freaking Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy, do the roar.
Oh, hell yeah!
Ain't that nice? We're celebrating you this morning. 762-555. What's cool? What's rad going on in your life? We'll start off with this one here. Someone said, got a big promotion for me this week, and work takes effect on Monday.
Nice.
That's from Chris. And someone else texted in and said, I finally got a new job with benefits. I'm getting orthotics on Monday.
Hell yeah. This one says, it's from Josh, going to see Project X Wrestling tonight with my dad, who hasn't gone to pro wrestling since Andre the Giant.
What?
That's been a bit. That's been a minute.
We got another one here from a different Josh that says, made it through another work week without wanting to strangle my coworkers.
Hell yeah. Wait. Without strangling or without wanting to strangle?
Wanting to.
Wow.
That's a big week. That deserves a double.
Craig says Uncle Lou broke up with his girlfriend and we're all so happy.
I get that.
Or Uncle Lou.
We've all been around someone where you're just like, get this drag out of here, dude. Someone said they're getting their wisdom teeth pulled today, and they're excited because they're getting pain meds.
Yeah! Woo! T3s for everybody.
Whatever gets you through the weekend.
Ashley says, ooh yeah, for having nothing I have to do this weekend. Love that.
Jason says, my wife and son are heading out for the weekend, so that means I can order all the junk food I want and play all the video games by myself.
Dude, I remember when my wife would leave town, I would always get a bucket of KFC because she didn't like it, and that was just the best.
Yeah. Leon said the boss is sick and at home.
Not a lot getting done today. This one just says, getting Subway footlongs after work today. All right, cool, man.
Nice. You should do Mr. Sub. It's Canadian, all right?
There you go. Yeah.
We got another one here. It says, hooked up with my ex-boss's daughter. Can I get an ooh yeah for that? Yeah.
That's a bold ooh
Probably
yeah,
can't use
brother.
him as a reference anymore, but...
Ooh yeah for Soup's crew for the pour last night and sticking it out throughout the weather. Well done.
We got a lot of birthdays in here. Too many to say, but happy birthday. Ottawa Senators fans looking for an ooh yeah for clinching the playoff spot.
Let them have it. They don't get much.
We'll see you in the Battle of Ontario. Don't worry. I'm not worried. This guy came up to me at the gym the other day. I wish I had caught his name. I was on the treadmill, and he came over, and he's like, I just wanted to say, sweeping 4 games.
Get out of here.
Yeah, right, dude.
A bold claim. We'll see if he comes back next time you two are in the gym together.
All right, we'll wrap up with this one. It says, can I get a hell yeah for my wife agreeing to try that special little thing I've asked her to try for years with me?
Pineapple on pizza?
She now loves cheese fondue.
Hey! Damn, dude, I don't think I've had fondue in over a decade.
Fondue Friday?
I might try myself some fondue.
Fondue Friday? All right, if we didn't give you an ooh yeah, this one's for you, unless you're an Ottawa Senators fan.
Even if you're a Senators fan, you can have one too.
No,
just turn it down half volume.
Okay, ooh yeah for the Senators fans.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see Habs fans text in here. Wah! You get wad.
Normally, I would be like, you're being mean, but they're pretty much the reason Detroit's not going to make the playoffs this year, so wah 'em again.
And a wah for Detroit, too, I guess.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
This is the Brock and Delby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is torpid. Yeah, torpid. 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 And it's sluggish, apathetic, or dull. So the sluggish part I got down pat after smoking a big gagger, but definitely not dull. Anyways, that just about does it. Have a great one. Cheers her up.
Torpid.
In about 3 minutes, we're going to turn the mics off. I'm going to go home and be torpid for about 48 hours.
I do like when I Googled it, it says that this is a word that you could use for when animals hibernate.
Oh,
so
okay.
It is the perfect word. If you're having a lazy weekend,
Yeah.
you're being torpid is what it is.
I've been torpid many times in my life, to be honest. That's how I got to this svelte figure of mine.
If you got a hangover Sunday, it's a torpid Sunday.
Torpid Sundays are honestly mandatory. As you get older, they become more and more important to be torpid.
When you don't shower all weekend long and all you get is takeout and you can start smelling yourself while you're eating your delicious food, that's a torpid.
That torpid scent in the air.
Yeah.
Although I will say, what we need from you guys is to stop being so torpid and download the Seeker app and play the Brock and Dalby Easter egg hunt. Thank you very much. That's our last mandatory plug of the day.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Let's get torped. Torpid. Use it wherever you can today, all right?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Delby Podcast.
Hey, we're the Trews. This is one of our brand new songs called The Bloody Light. Hello, my love, I must go away. I wish I could tell you everything will be okay. I'm running on empty. I got nowhere left I can stay. 'Cause that bloody light shine in the distance, I can't look away. I wasn't born to lose. Sometimes it just goes that way. I get back on the backbeat, keep digging my grave. When I swore I would change, it was 10 years ago to this day. Now all I can promise is I cannot promise a thing. Your tears were in vain on the day I was driving away. 'Cause that bloody light shine in the distance pulled me away. I wasn't born to lose. Sometimes it just goes that way. If I had to choose, I wouldn't know what to do anyway. I get back on the backbeat, keep digging my grave. wish I could say I was sorry. I wish I could say I was brave. But that bloody light shines in the distance and I'm gone again. Bring me the fire, bring me the heat. Feed them coals on my broken feet. Bring me the fire, bring me the heat. I get back on the backbeat. I wasn't born to lose. Sometimes it just goes that way. If I had to choose, I wouldn't know what to do anyway. There's no excuse. I get lost in the same old mistakes. I get back on the bad beat. Keep digging my grave. I get back on the bad beat. Keep digging my grave. I get back on the bad beat. Keep digging my grave.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
My name is Brock.
I'm Dolly.
And right now we're hanging out with the boys from the Trews.
How's it going? I'm John Angus.
I'm Colin.
I'm Jack.
Thanks so much for being here, guys. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
If there's a band in this country that could call themselves road warriors getting up and down all the highways, we appreciate you guys making your way out here to hang out with us today.
Thank you very much. Well, we happen to be in town, and we wouldn't miss an opportunity to come chat with you guys.
See, that makes us sound so much cooler than we really are. So I do appreciate you saying that.
We've been in this building many, many, many times over the years, and it's oddly nostalgic.
Yeah, that's because they haven't changed the paint or
go.
any of the furniture.
It's nice to see some things never change.
It's still the same smell for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what is it that brought you guys out this way?
We have a record coming out in October, which we finished in the fall. And we worked on it with Brett and Jay from the Glorious Sons. Just a bunch of co-writing with those guys, and they eventually ended up producing the album, which, again, it was done in increments over the last couple of years. But now we have it in the can, and we're kind of getting ready to release it. So we decided we'd come out to see the guys and capture some talking about it, like some content, as they call it these days.
And beers, of course.
Yeah, we
beers.
captured some beers as well. We found some.
Is it an interesting feeling? Because, I mean, over the years, you guys have been directly responsible for helping so many bands produce their albums, get their albums out on the shelves. Is it an interesting feeling nowadays when you guys are working on something new to go to other bands for that vibe?
It was a bit of a full circle moment, especially with the guys in the Glorious Sons, because John Angus produced their first record, The Union, and I think the first thing they ever did was they won a chance to open for us in Barrie, like in 2012, and they've obviously done amazing things, and it was just cool to have their input. Like, they were long-time fans of ours, and they had a very strong opinions on what they liked about the Trews and what they didn't like, and they were great producers for us, and definitely made us feel fired up again, for sure.
As long as you're doing this, like it's all about inspiration, and like this is our 8th record. So sometimes it's not that it's dry. It's just sometimes you got to dig a little deeper to find the water, And with age and with lives getting so busy, and we all have families, and it's just nice to have a galvanizing person in the room who's like, basically a cheerleader for the project. And those guys filled that role very, very nicely.
Looking back on that first record, if you could give yourself any advice looking back then to what you now know now, and especially producing all these records, what's the biggest piece of advice you'd give yourselves going into the first record?
Young man, get into finance. No,
not anymore though, because there's no such thing as a stock market.
Oh yeah, right. I don't. That's a really tough question, because like we were very driven in our youth, like towards what? I don't know, just like this sort of mad drive to like make something of yourself. And, we chose music, and, there was missteps along the way, and there always is, and there always will be. But I think we did all right. Ultimately, we kind of kept it together. We're still here. What would you tell your younger self?
I mean, it's all easy in hindsight, but it's just the music's always kind of the number one thing, and just write all the time and work hard, and make something that you love. That's the most important part. Because I think if you love it and you feel inspired and fired up by it, that's the most contagious thing for an audience, whether it be 10 people or 10,000.
I know there's someone listening right now that's in a band that's looking for their next big break or the way to make some sort of cuts or whatever. What advice would you give to any bands that are listening right now?
Work hard. Just keep working at it. Don't worry about it. Just just do something about it. You know, like you meet a lot of artists like, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's like, well, nobody knows what they're going to do. You just get up and write and work, and then write again and then write again and then sing and play. And if that's what you love to do, then you'll find a way.
Now, you guys are releasing an album, but a lot of bands do kind of just the single format now. What do you think are the benefits of just releasing straight singles versus actually a full record nowadays?
Well, I think you can do both. We still like to package 12 songs together as an album because that's a great way I still like to listen to music that way. You know, if I'm in a Radiohead mood, I like to put on OK Computer. If I'm in a Metallica mood, I like to hear, Black Album, whatever. I still like the parcel of songs. So we still do that. But now it's like, you can sort of have your cake and eat it too, where you drop a song, then you drop a song, and you call them singles, and then 6 months later it's called an album. So
it's almost like you're building a best of along the way as you're going.
That's very generous. Very generous.
You guys are 8 albums deep now. Is there anything from the early days that you look back on and it's tough for you to listen to? Or maybe is there anything from the Trews that comes up on the playlist that gets a skip because you've just heard it too many times?
What's your least favorite song?
Some of the songs, like, we do get sick of them and stuff, but...
we did, last year, the first album turned 20, House of Ill Fame, with like Not Ready to Go and Tired of Waiting. And we did a tour where we did the whole record. And so we had to relearn a lot of those songs. Like, we hadn't played them in almost 20 years, a lot of them. A lot of them just fell off the playlist once the tour was over, and we never revisited them. So it was actually kind of interesting process because, like, I thought, like, the energy level was insane. Like, again, like, these are songs we wrote when we were 21 and 22 years old, and, like, learning them again is, 41, 42.
Got to be an amazing feeling, though, to look out and some of those songs that either haven't been on the playlist in a long time or maybe never even were, and the fans are singing every single word back because 20 years later, those albums still mean so much to them.
Nostalgia is a powerful thing, but it was also just like a reminder of like how hard we used to rock every night. It was tiring, but it was good. It was a good experience.
And now with the new single, The Breakdown, I do feel like it's kind of almost like reflecting on life, if I'm not wrong. And could you give us a breakdown of the breakdown?
It's kind of about that. It's also just about having a breakdown. And it's just a very kind of personal, but also kind of, I don't know, what's the opposite of personal? Worldly. Like, I think it's pretty relatable right now. I think it's pretty relatable for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that, a little bit of just like talking to that younger part of yourself and trying to, like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to always keep going, and like that like incessant drive that makes you go forever. And then eventually you just get exhausted by that, and you got to deal with all that other stuff you've been running from forever. So I think that happens to all of us.
Does it make it easier or harder as a songwriter with everything that's going on in the world? Like, it almost feels like a lot of times it's emotional and information overload these days, especially here in Canada with everything that's been going on in the last 4 months or so. Yeah. Does that make the songwriting process something you can tap into, or is it sort of a barrier?
Could you be more specific?
No. Yeah. I think you never go wrong speaking from an emotional place with music, because that's where people are most affected by music, is their emotions. And there's a lot of opinions and a lot of talking heads and a lot of podcasts, and everybody's got a take. And I think sometimes you can say a lot just with your heart. No, but I think you can say a lot when you're not trying to say too much, and one of the great powers of music is subtext, and you can be saying something without directly saying it. And I think that's where we try to go for it, and try to make it feel good, because feeling is what music's about. And a lot about what's going on in the world is like an abundance of overthinking, and everybody's really opinionated and chatting and talking and podcasting, and it's just like, okay, enough. And then sometimes you just want to like feel it, and feelings can speak loudly in these moments.
As a Canadian band, do you feel any obligations to speak out right now or anything like that?
Well, we had the middle finger tariff thing, right? With the Canadian flag.
We did. It was divisive, but we did a post that said tariff this.
I saw a thing today from, remember, and I don't know if you guys ever watched like WWE, but like, remember when they tried to make Bret Hart like a bad guy right before the Montreal screw job, and they got rid of him altogether? So there's a whole thing where he's like, because he was like Mr. Canada and he hated America, was his whole thing as a heel, and he has this hilarious thing online like, this is Canada's summer, we got better beer and better everything, and he's just railing at the audience.
You just won this man's heart, by
Absolutely.
the way.
I remember it fondly. Yes, they tried to make him the bad guy, and it worked in New York and all over the States, and then they brought it back to Calgary, and everybody was like, he's just spitting bars right now.
Yeah. So maybe we'll post that next. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
If you want to talk wrestling for a second, if you guys were wrestlers, what would your walkout music be?
Our best wrestling walkout song would probably be "Hold Me in Your Arms," like. Does
it have to be a Trews song?
Any song. Yeah.
Something from the '80s. Something like "Turn Me Loose" or something like that.
That would be a pretty ineffective.
Turn Me Loose on the ring.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get some spandex though if you're gonna go through the whole thing.
I grew up watching a lot of WWE when I was a kid, and went through like a nostalgic thing last year where I got right back into it. It's all on Netflix now too, right?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. WrestleMania just around the corner.
There you go.
Jack, what would your walk-up music be for Green Pepper the Olive, your wrestling name?
My wrestling name.
Sorry, hang on. Let's not breeze past
Green
that.
Pepper the Olive?
We had wrestling names back in the day, but
mine was Green Pepper the Olive. Yeah.
What were your guys' wrestling
Like a
names?
boxer. Colin Ambulance.
Colin Ambulance.
So I don't remember mine.
That's a good one.
You got a song?
Barracuda, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. I like that.
That's good. I like that too.
I wanted to ask you guys, you have been up and down the roads all over Canada. I don't know if there's many places you couldn't put a pin on a Google map as to where you've played. And it's a sort of old-time question to say, well, what's the best crowd to play in front of? But I think the more realistic question is, what are some of the best places for the after party?
We've had some pretty great after parties right here in Kingston. Yeah, like one time we played the K-Rock Center. What's it called now?
Slush Puppy Place now.
Slush Puppy Arena. Yeah.
Good name.
Yeah.
So we played there with the Tragically Hip in 2008.
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. You got
That's
better
how good the
memory.
after party was.
Yeah, exactly. It brought me back. It brought me back a year. Yeah. The after party was at AJ's. Still called AJ's. Called AJ's Ale House. Anyway.
Oh, Ale House. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're really dating ourselves.
We are dating ourselves. But the after party was so good. There was like a cover band on stage. That's where the after party was, and we just like commandeered the cover bands.
And they were like
stage.
an 80s cover band, and we just took all their
We
wigs.
took their wigs, and like we had members of the Hip up on stage and us on
And
stage.
they played Turn Me Loose for
ripping
you,
covers.
yeah.
They played Turn Me Loose.
At one point, Paul from the Hip was like, I was trying to sing, and I was definitely had imbibed, and Paul's just like, hey man, it's too much. Like, I was like, into the microphone.
It was an after party and a half.
I think it's so awesome how close you guys are with the Tragically Hip. Do you have a favorite Hip memory or a Gord Downey memory that you'd like to share?
So many. Yeah.
We grew up and still are massive fans of that band. And I remember our very first tour across Canada when we were just driving in a van, just booking shows as we went. And we drove through Kingston, and we're from Antigonish, Nova Scotia. And we're just like, I can't believe we're driving through the town where the Tragically Hip lived. You know what I mean? Some of them had moved away by then, but yeah, we were always huge fans. And then we got to open for them here in 2004 at the Causeway. So it was a big outdoor show, and that was like just incredible for us. And there's been many. I mean, we did a record with Gord Sinclair.
Well, then they became pals, which was great, and we went and did a record out at Bath in again, what year? 2010 or something, 11.
Yeah.
But we moved into their studio space, which if you've been, it's like entering the imagination of the band. You know, there's all these like artwork from the record on the wall, and the books they read are on the wall, and their instruments are everywhere. And so we went in there for months on end and made a record, and then we went on tour with them after that record. And yeah, it's great. I mean, it's all good memories, to be honest.
The best memory is we had a guitar tech back in 2004. After we played with them and knew them a bit, they let us record some demos there. And we had a guitar tech named Ian, great friend of ours, and he got really bored. We were like working 10, 12 hours a day, like writing and recording at the same time. So he went upstairs at the bathhouse. There's like a pool room, like with a pool table and books and records. And he literally alphabetized all of their records.
Out of sheer boredom.
He like thousands of records. And then we saw them shortly thereafter at a benefit concert we were both playing on. And our guitar tech, also an incredible guitar player, and he played some leads on some of our demos. And Gord Downey was like, so let me get this straight. Your guitar tech was upstairs and like alphabetized my entire record collection, and then came downstairs and ripped this like paint peeler of a solo on your record. And we're like, yeah. He goes, that's f***ing awesome.
He's dialed.
You know, you guys were such huge fans of the Tragically Hip, and then you got that magical moment of getting to meet them, play with them, become friends with them.
Yeah.
Is it lost on you guys that there are a lot of Canadian bands that have the exact same story with your names in it instead of the Tragically Hip?
It's funny because last night we were hanging out with Brett and Jay. We were doing like some content for our upcoming record, and I had no idea they were such big fans. Like, I know that they were excited to work with us, and you know, we always loved those guys. And I didn't know, like, they were telling me about when they heard our third record, and we were on the road for 300 days a year. Like, we didn't really think about how it was impacting anybody. We were just working, and it was really kind of sweet, like how much that record meant to them. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But yeah, I don't really think about that too much, but it's nice to hear.
20 years later, are there any milestones that the band has hit other than becoming, you know, mentors and idols and stuff like that you can look back on and go, that's insane that we've done that?
Yeah, we still get those moments. Like, even like last June, we played at Juno Beach for the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion, and we played in front of the Prime Minister and the and Prince, and we played in front of princes and prime ministers, and we were right there in front of a bunch of veterans on Juno Beach playing Highway Heroes. I mean, that was one of the highlights of our career for sure. So it still happens. It's still unbelievable. It's those moments that are just like, you think about them like, I can't even believe that happened. But yeah, we're super grateful.
In those kind of moments, do you still get butterflies? Do you still get nerves?
That
100% that
was
time.
live television.
And they took us on the wrong side of the stage. Like, we rehearsed it the day before, and it was like all time sensitive. It was being broadcast live around the world. And we literally had to run along the beach behind the stage with our guitars in hand towards the stage. By the time we got up there, we're like, and it was nerve wracking. And then it was like, there was the Prime Minister of France, of Canada, the Prince William. And I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to look at these guys, because it's like, if they look away or something, you know what I mean? So I just kind of looked way at the back. And
I was very grateful when I saw the broadcast later that they didn't catch us running along the beach. I was like, oh, thank God the cameras weren't on that.
Would have been a cool kind of Baywatch moment, though. The three of you guys running through the sand.
I think the tone would have been off, because it would have been way too hilarious for the heaviness of the moment. But it would be funny.
Now, I always wonder with bands, before you go on a show, is there any pre-show rituals or anything that you partake in?
I mean, I have to do a lot of warming up now, like just as the singer, and these guys, cocktail time and listen to music. And
do you have like a cheers that you guys always do before you go on stage?
We do. It's a handshake where you all meet your pinkies and then curl them around and make one kind of bro fist.
Nice.
But we tend to try to be in the venue an hour before the show starts. We've been doing that since we started. Like, basically, like, just to get a sense of, you can sort of feel the room a little bit, and you're all hanging out together. And then about a half an hour before, we usually share a drink. Listening to music is great. I really like to listen to music in the dressing room, because it's like, it can really fire you up in the right way. And then we just go out and get the job done.
We saw Motorhead's rider online recently, and there was a bunch of crazy stuff on there. Is there any weird things on your rider that you guys have, or something that has to be there?
There used to be way weirder stuff.
I just got asked this. I was like, over the time, this is like the most boring answer, but like over time, that the rider's just gotten slightly healthier.
Right.
There used to be an obscene amount of alcohol, and now there's just a regular amount. There's like throat coat tea has suddenly emerged, and vitamins have emerged, and kettles have emerged. If you're going to live on the road, you got to try to make it your home everywhere you go, which means like some of those comforts always being there is important. The most brilliant hack I've ever heard of is put socks and underwear on your rider, because it'll literally cut your laundry in half during the run. So bands do that. We've never done it. But,
that's the advice to your younger self.
Yes. Thank you. That's it.
You mentioned that you guys listen to music in the lead up to a live show. What's on the Trews pre-show playlist?
I mean, I got everything from like the anthology of folk music to like Van Halen. The first 6 albums. I like to, either listen to old folk music or just really fun rock music, because I think that's somewhere in between those two things are the Trews. I just try to sing along with a bunch of stuff, just get in that kind of zone.
I think The Who is a great one. I always love listening to The Who. It pumps me up.
I agree. Anything high energy. Ace Frehley's solo record. We did a tour with Ace. It was one of the first things we ever did with our keyboard player, Jeff. And Jeff's usually the guy packing the Bluetooth speaker. So he's usually in charge. But we'd love to put that record on, because it brings back a bunch of memories. And it's one of those high energy albums that gets you ready to play.
I don't like to listen to anything too high art before you go on. Like, even though I love a lot of that music, like, I don't like to listen to anything like too insanely genius. Like, you want to keep it like really fun, and not that the Who aren't genius. It's like, I like stuff that's just high octane fun and or really hard to hear, like old recordings from the 1930s and we can barely make out the lyrics. I like that. I don't want to listen to like the Radiohead and even though I love those bands, as the Trews, you don't want to go up there and like, no, we're serious now. You got to be you got to still have a good time.
You've been doing this for 20 years. You've got another album coming out later on this year. I assume that means we'll be seeing more Trews tour dates and travel and all that stuff. Have you guys even considered slowing down at any point, or is it just go till you can't?
Probably go till you can't. We have a drive to do it, and like when we're not on the road, we're always writing and always working, and it's kind of just like I still love doing it, so I still feel really kind of lucky to do it, and I don't really know what else to do at some time. You know what I mean? Like I want to write songs. I want to keep getting better at that. And we also work with other bands, and like it's not like we're just sitting there waiting for the Trews show. We're all very invested in the process of it. So as of right now, we're still going to just keep going. I mean, we have a lot of songs. We got like almost 2 records full of tunes in the can right now.
And we have gotten smarter about the way that we tour. So there are lulls, and like, we've only played 4 shows this year, so it's not like we're going at that pace. And so it does feel like we get like resting time and time with the family, time off the road. And then when the road comes around again, you feel ready for it, which again, it takes a while to learn that, because like we went at breakneck speed for like 10 years. years, where we just toured as much as we possibly could. You know, like 150 shows a year was like an average, and now it's not nowhere near that. We just gotten a little smarter about it. You don't want to burn yourself out.
One of my favorite things about working in radio is when we do spin a new band and how excited they are that they get to hear themselves on the radio. Do you still get excited hearing yourselves on the radio?
Yeah, especially now. It's like, it's so cool to have a song on the radio. Even at this point in our career, it's like, and songs always sound better. I don't care about what people say about streaming. It always sounds better on the radio. It rings better. I don't know what it is. It sounds more exciting. Every song. I love being on the radio. It's awesome. You know?
That's the clip. That's the clip.
Mark that one down.
There's two things that I think of when I think of the Trews. Great music and also amazing hats. And I want to know, between you two, how big is the collection of hats at this point?
I just got one. I just wear
It's just the one?
yeah.
Just the one?
You only have one hat?
It's the only one I ever wear. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How many times have you replaced that hat?
A couple times.
Because I was going to say, like, I've been in radio for about as long as you guys have been on the road, and I think I've seen 3 pictures lifetime of you not wearing that hat. So I have to assume it's not 20 years old.
No, it's not 20 years old.
It's
Right.
the same style, right? It's like the pork pie.
Same thing, yeah.
I have like a half a dozen.
Will you buy a hat being like, that's my next hat, and then at some point just go, I'm over it now?
Yeah, I do. But my favorite one is it's a company in Toronto called Coup d'Etat that make like custom hats. And when I turned 40, it was a gift from my family. So I went in and it was like custom designed, and my children's birthdays are emblazoned in the rim, and so I that's my favorite one.
And I'll ask one more, just because I know you guys are so active in the Canadian music scene, working with other bands. Is there any other bands you guys are working with right now that people maybe don't know about yet or should be keeping their eye on?
I mean, I'm constantly doing something. Like I did a couple songs with Harmonies last year. Who you probably heard of them. They've been out and about for a while. But there's a guy named Matty Leon who I've made some music with, who's got a song coming out next month. There's a band from way back called Superstack who've been around about as long as us, but they're kind of coming back now. They took a long time off, and I produced some songs for those guys.
I work with a band called the East Pointers, but people know who they are now. But I really like those guys. And
band out in Vancouver called Chase the Bear. We're really great. Some young dudes who just do nothing but play music.
I don't know anything about them, but I love that name.
It's a wicked name.
Yeah, they live in Vancouver. They're from way north in BC, and they've been playing together for a couple of years now.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate it, and looking forward to the new record, which will be out in October, right?
Yeah, it's coming out in October, I think on the 24th. But between now and then, I know that's a long ways away, but between now and then, at least another half dozen songs from it will be coming out on the way to October.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
this is our current single, The Breakdown. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time. All my worst fears coming to mind. Waking up over my head. I'm in deep. I made my own bed. Everything feels like a giant regret. When you're up to your ears, heartache and dead. I took a shower, stared at the drain. Wiped the mirror, there was my face. Freedom lies on the other side. Young blood, look in my eyes. You're a fool not to cry. You're crazy not to break down. I dabbled in vain and I got my heart broke. Talked a good game, but I must have misspoke. Silver Lake took its toll. My shiny things, they all got old. But freedom lies on the other side. When you break your dreams, you lose your mind. Young blood, look in my eyes. You're a fool not to cry. You're crazy not to break down. This life is full of surprises. The sun also
a bad guy. I wanna light a fire, watch the sparks fly. Waking up in the bed I made, clean this room and get on my way. Young blood, look in my eyes. You're a fool not to cry, crazy not to break down. This life is full of surprises. The sun also rises. You're crazy not to break down. Young blood, look in my eyes. You're crazy not to break down. This life is full of surprises. You're crazy not to live now. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time. All my worst fears coming to mind. Waking up over my head. I'm in deep. I made my own bed.
Want to be a part of the podcast?
Leave a message on the Bad Line.
The Bad Line is the answering machine for the Brock and Dalby Show.
To get the number, text the word BAD to 762-555.
Thanks for listening to the Brock and Dalby podcast.